Let's take a look at how you can create an assessment, a quiz, in Google Forms. We're starting at forms.google.com. I like starting here or in Drive and clicking that new button and sliding over to templates, because you'll notice on here that we can jump right into a blank quiz that's going to have all the settings that we need for the quiz. Or if I flip down onto the template gallery, you're going to notice that there are a number of templates that are ready to go that I can just jump in and edit myself. If you are in Google Classroom, there's also an option to create a new quiz right from Classroom. I'm actually going to create just a blank Google form just to show you that process of setting it up, but do note that that blank quiz option is there that has those settings ready to go for you. Once I jump into my blank quiz, this sample quiz is going to be on the SAMR model for teachers in technology integration. This is great for pre-assessment, by the way, post-assessment, mid-checks, all different kinds of ways that we can get students' feedback really quickly to them. After I title it, I like to go ahead and go right into the settings just to make sure I have it set up how I want it. 3 sections here. General just means what information do I want to collect from them. I typically leave on collect email addresses. I usually don't send responses to students of their quiz responses or what they filled out. Do you want to limit it in your domain? Should they take it more than once? Do you want them to edit after? Quizzes tab, this is where we want to turn it on to make a quiz. As soon as you turn this on, every question that you create is going to have the option to create an answer key or to give it point values. Other important thing that I like to show and focus on is, when do you want students to see the grades? Do you want them to see immediately as soon as they submit it? Do they see what they had correct or incorrect? Or is it later, meaning that you email them if they can receive emails? Do they receive an email with that information? If so, what can they see either right away or later? Go ahead and click Save on that. Now we're ready to build our form. I always like to start by collecting some student identifying information, which just means I like to say, what is your first name? I put this in separately. That way, if I ever want to go to a Google Sheet, I can arrange in alphabetical order. Now, of course, if you're bringing it into Google Classroom, it's going to bring their score in. You have the option to import the score into Google Classroom. So if you want some information on that, let me know. But you can bring scores over there. But if I don't, this is a good way to then be able to organize it. If you teach middle school or high school or have more than 1 hour of something, I also like to say, what hour are you in? Again, this just allows you to, you could say, one tab. I was trying to be too helpful here. So you can put the hours in there as well. So I like to have that information. The other cool thing that I want to quickly show you, and I have this on one of my quizzes, is that you can add a password to quizzes. So if you don't want students to jump in and take the quiz right away, they'll land on a landing page. If they don't have the password, they can't get in. So they can't hit that next button until they have the correct password. This being a 90s quiz, Clueless is the password. Then they can click next, and then they can start taking the quiz. So how do I do that? 2 sections. So the first section, I like to ask them their first name, their last name, their hour, and the password. So to make that password part, we're going to add a question. It is going to be a short answer, and it's going to be called password. And then we're going to click in the bottom right-hand corner. There's 3 stacked dots, and we want to turn on what's called response validation. This is what they use, by the way, if you're on the web and they ask you for an email address, and it won't let you hit next until you have an at gmail.com or at whatever it may be.com. They use what's called data validation, which is exactly what this is. We want to change it to either text or regular expression, and that's a word, sorry, regular expression, matches, and then I'm going to put in here whatever the password I want to be. So I might say Ruben, the first name of the man who created the SAMR model. And then where it says custom error text, I want to put a hint because I don't want it to pop up and say must match Ruben. That would give it away, right? So I just want to say that I might put on here capitalized first letter. All right, so now they have to have that correct before they can go to the next section. Well, where's the next section? We need to add another section. So our toolbar over here on the right, we're going to click to add a section. So it continues to the next section once they have their password. So here's the actual SAMR quiz. Now, just to quickly look at our list here, these are the types of questions that Google will automatically grade for you. Multiple choice, drop down, checkbox, even if there are several answers, it's going to grade it, and then short answer, meaning you type in the options it should select to grade. Here's what's cool though. It will group non-like answer or like answers together. So if 10 of your students put an option to have a misspelling and you still want to give them a point, it'll show those 10 answers together, and you can say give anyone a point who has this answer. So it does that, which is kind of quick, kind of cool, and saves you some time. So back here, we're going to just do a couple of sample questions just to give you a sense of how this works. So I'm adding a question. This is going to be a multiple choice. So here's our answers. Now, because this is a quiz, we have this answer key button here. So we're going to click answer key. I can decide how many points I want to make it. I select the correct answer, and I have the option on every question to leave answer feedback back. This means if a student takes the quiz, they're done with the quiz, they hit submit, it's going to say, if they have the answer incorrect, it's going to say whatever you want to put in this box. So this is a great time to link, there's a link icon, to a study guide or notes, or include a video to help. So if they need to review the SAMR model, there's a great video in here. Right here from Spencer that I want to put in here, John Spencer, and I say review this video. That can be part of the feedback for incorrect answers. Okay, I can continue to add. I just want to quickly show you what that short answer looks like. So in the short answer, I might say, what does A represent in the SAMR model? Answer key, this is where I can put as many options as I want. So augmentation, and I might want to try to misspell it and take a few different kinds of answers in here. Do I want to mark all other answers incorrect, or do I want it to pop up for me to review? That's an option there. I can put in then to feedback if I want it as well. Short answer, paragraph responses, you're obviously going to have to grade. Some of the grids in here you're going to have to grade. You can decide if you want to give them a point or not. I would probably take out my point here because you put your name in it. Doesn't mean you get a point. So you can do all of that there. When your answers come in, this is what they look like. So I have one here with some answers in it. What's nice is you get some insight, some statistics right away. So it kind of shows you the breakdown of points, how they did, some information about just the people who responded. And then you can go through question by question and see how students did per question. So you can also copy these, which is kind of cool. Copy the charts to a slideshow or to a document. So you have all that information there. You can also go question by question here. So if you needed to go through and give points, you could do that as well. And then you'll see individual grades in here too. So lots of good insights and information in there. How do you assign it to your students? So you can pull it into Google Classroom, or you can hit our send button if you want to email it to students, or grab the link to post on Classroom or Canvas or whatever you use to grade. So that was a quick overview of how to make a quiz in Google Forms.